Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Oh, bless you. Bless you. Callan and I thought we'd sit down today and film a 1 month postpartum, actually almost 6 week postpartum update, Callan update about the birth questions that y'all have had that I felt like maybe I didn't really go into detail with, about why he was in the NICU, his little NICU stay. And then y'all asked some questions on Instagram. I thought I'd go over some of those as well. So I thought I'd just do a sit down video today and just kind of go over a few things or talk about a few things, not go over a few things. So talk about a few things, how I'm doing postpartum wise, and things like that. So Callan, he actually had a doctor's appointment last week as well that went really well. I think I updated that. I think I was vlogging that day. But his hair is the thing that everyone comments the most about, especially when right after I wash it, which I didn't wash it today, I did yesterday. His hair is the best. I am obsessed with his hair, and all of my babies have not had much hair at all, and just seeing his hair is like a shocker because none of our other babies have really had hair. But anyways, he just got done eating, so I'm hoping he'll kind of last through this video while we go over just a few things. So starting out with the birth and about the NICU, because I had a lot of people say, why was he in the NICU for so long? Why did he have to go to the NICU? And looking back, I don't know if I really said why, like what was the reason. Maybe I did, I'm just forgetting it, because these last almost six weeks have been like, some things have been a blur. So if I have said it, then well, you can just fast forward through this. But right after he was born, I noticed, well, the doctors, I even noticed it, he was having some trouble breathing. He was struggling, and you could tell in his chest and like his belly, he was just struggling. And so the baby nurse that was in there, she kept reassuring me like, he's fine, like he's okay. But the longer after just a few minutes, I could tell like everything was not okay. But they were trying to keep me calm, and which I think was the best thing to do. They were trying to keep me calm, and another baby nurse came in there. She said, I think we're gonna take him back to the nursery. So our hospital don't have a NICU. They just have a nursery for babies that, like, if something were to go wrong, that they could kind of treat there. Like Millie had some breathing troubles, but she was only on oxygen, and they were able to pretty much treat that there. So we don't have a NICU at our local hospital. So she said, I think we're going to take him back to the nursery and kind of, you know, let the doctor look at him and all of that. So I don't actually believe the pediatrician was even there. I think they had to call him in. The pediatrician is always really close by, but I don't think they're always there 100% of the time. I said, okay. So it was forever before we even heard anything. They kept him back there for so long. I even already switched rooms, and nobody would come back and say anything to me. They just kept reassuring me, he's okay, he's okay. So the next thing I know, I'm in my postpartum room, and the pediatrician comes in there, and by this point, I just want to know, what in the world, where's my baby, you know, what's going on, are we gonna have to be transferred out? Because at that point I was concerned about that. And he came in there and said, we don't have the supplies to treat him here. We have to call, he was supposed to be transferred out via helicopter, but the helicopters were actually not running that morning. But the same people that do the helicopters came by like their ambulances to come get him, and he said, we've got to transfer him to a NICU that can treat him more than we can. He needs more care than we can do here. So by that point, I was just a mess. I mean, I wasn't expecting that for him to be 37 weeks. And, you know, I wasn't expecting, I expected like, there could be some like troubles, but nothing that I expected to have to go to the NICU over. And so we were actually able to go see him right after the doctor came in, and they had a CPAP over his mouth and nose to give him more support. And by that point, I was just an absolute mess. And the med center air people came to get him, so we had to leave by that point. They were in there for probably about 45 minutes to an hour getting him ready to leave. And they always come with him by the rooms to let you tell the babies bye. He was in the thing that they transport him in, and he was he was on a ventilator by that point, and they transferred him to a high-level NICU, like the best NICU around here, which is actually about an hour from us. And then shortly after that, I was able to be transferred as well. But when we got to the hospital, the neonatologist came in and talked to us about, you know, what was going on. We were actually warned when I was giving birth, like during my labor, that if the baby was a boy, he might not sit through this video. He might have to sit with Daddy for a little bit. They told me that if the baby's a boy, then, you know, there's a possibility that he could have a little bit of struggles, because they say little Caucasian baby boys struggle more than any other race, and more than baby girls do. And so actually every doctor and every nurse told us that. Every doctor and every nurse we came in contact with at our local hospital, but also in the NICU, they told us the little Caucasian baby boys struggle more than any other race. And that was true for him. When the neonatologist came in, he said he's got, I believe he called it infant lung disease, which sounds really bad, but he said once he is over it, then he's over it for good. It's not something that's going to follow him and forever, and he's going to struggle with like years down the road. So after those 8 days in the NICU, he was perfectly fine, and he's had no trouble since. And that was basically it. He was just, I hear Millie crying. She's waking up from a nap, but Daddy's getting her. He was just born a few weeks early, and just from what the doctors and nurses told us, his race and gender had a big thing. I even hesitate to say this, but this is just something that every doctor and nurse told us. They don't know why it's like that for little Caucasian baby boys, but they say that it's more than any other race baby out there. So anyways, I just wanted to say that because that's what every person told us, and that had a big thing to do with it. And he is perfectly fine now. He just had those struggles in the beginning, and I know I struggled so much when we were in the NICU. I struggled with having, I don't know if I went into detail, but we actually had to leave him for 3 nights. They let me stay for 3 or 4 nights in my room, in my postpartum room at the new hospital. And I actually had to like really beg them to let me stay that last night. And then after that, they just couldn't let me stay any longer, and I couldn't stay in the NICU overnight. And so we actually had to leave him for 3 nights. So both Ethan and I, every single day would wake up, and we would be at the NICU for those 3 days that we had to leave him overnight. We would be there at 7:30 a.m. every day, and we would leave at 6:30 p.m. every night. So we were there for 11 hours each day, and we'd come home, sleep, eat and sleep, see the girls for just a little bit, and we'd go wake right back up and be with him for the rest of the whole day the next day. And that was so tough. And I know that we didn't have near the NICU experience that some other NICU parents have had, but it was just a really tough experience. And I remember one of the doctors we had, she was so great. I know every doctor, every nurse, every lactation consultant that would come in our little area in the NICU, I think I cried with every single one of them, just because postpartum hormones and your baby, you know, not doing the best is tough. And when we were kind of at our last few days, the doctor, she said, soon the NICU is going to be a distant memory. And 5 weeks later, 4.5 weeks later since being home, it seems like such a long time ago that we were in the NICU. It don't seem like that long ago that I gave birth to him, but it seems like so long ago that we were there every day and traveling back and forth, and it seems like such a distant memory, just like she said. Let me give him to Daddy. So Daddy took the baby. He was getting a little fussy. I might bring him back towards the end. But anyways, that is kind of, I didn't mean for that to get this long, but that was kind of some of the other NICU things that I didn't go over, and why he was there, kind of his struggles and all of that. So next, I'm going to talk about him and give a little update on him. He is doing so good, and the doctor at the pediatrician that he's seen, he's been to the pediatrician twice since he's been home. The first doctor, we actually had to see a different doctor than our regular doctor. She said, if I wouldn't have known his history, like I would have never known he went through those struggles. Like he's just so perfect and he's just doing so good. And at his last appointment last week, our regular doctor said there's like no concerns. He's doing so well. He's gaining weight so well. He gained right at 2 pounds in 3 weeks, which is really awesome. I feel like my girls were pretty slow weight gainers with breastfeeding, but you can tell he's just getting so big, and he just looks big to me. His chubby big chubby cheeks are just the cutest. But he weighed at his last appointment 9 pounds 11 ounces. So I feel like he's over 10 pounds by now, because his appointment was 8 days ago. So he just is pretty much out of newborns. Like I did put a newborn outfit on him a few nights ago, and last time he would be able to wear that and probably any other newborn outfits. So he's really in like 0 to 3 size 1 diapers, and soon he's going to be in 3 to 6. So he's doing very well. So that's just a little update on him. Breastfeeding is going so good. He's been my best nurser so far as he's a very quick eater. Like he can eat in less than 10 minutes and he's done and satisfied. I mean, he eats like a lot very often, but he's quick each time he does. And then there's been no pain this time with breastfeeding like I've had every other time. I've always been in a lot of pain and had to use the creams, and it's a lot of pain, but not with him. I had like no pain, and I don't know if it's because I pumped for those first like 6 days. I pumped around the clock every 3 hours. I don't know if that had something to do with it, because he wasn't able to latch for 6 days. He had a feeding tube. But he's been my best nurser so far at breastfeeding. I feel like my milk is like fattier this time just because he's gaining so much more weight, or maybe he's just eating a little more. I don't really know, but yeah. And he has not taken a bottle since we've been home, which we keep saying we need to do that, because Millie would not take a bottle at all, and we want him to be able to, just in case. So we need to try that this week. And so far there's not been a need to give him one, but still we need to, just in case like I needed to leave him for an extended period of time, or something were to happen where I had to leave him. And so I think we might try that sometime this week. I've got lots of milk stored up from when he was in the NICU. I pumped for those first few days home, but I haven't pumped ever since. I just hadn't needed to, but I have a lot of milk stored up already. Yeah, I feel like I keep getting my words mixed up. I have a lot stored in my deep freezer already, just from us being in the NICU, and I had a pretty big oversupply from then. So that's the update on that and him. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. He's sleeping. A lot of nights he does pretty well. He's up at least every 3 hours, but a lot of nights he'll eat and lay right back down. We'll change him, eat, lay right back down. And then there's some nights, like last night, he was up every like hour, I'm pretty sure. He was up so much, and I guess maybe it's like a growth spurt or like a little sleep regression, I'm not really sure, but he was up like every hour. So it just depends. Some nights he's never slept more than, I believe one night we had a 4 or 4.5 hour stretch. He's never had a longer stretch than that, so I'm hopeful that soon he'll be sleeping bigger stretches than just 2 to 3 hours. But it hasn't seemed so bad because a lot of times he will eat and go right back down, and I'm able to go right back to sleep until he is ready to eat again. So anyway, so that's kind of him. I can't really think of anything else to update with him. Postpartum, I have felt really good postpartum. Obviously being in the NICU those several days, I had a lot of emotions then, but since we've been home and really at the end of our NICU stay, I noticed a big difference in my emotions. When that last few days that we were there, when I started hearing the doctors talking possibly going home soon, that's when like my mood kind of changed, and I wasn't finding myself crying all the time every single day. I found that I was having a better, easier time emotionally once they started talking going home, because we didn't know how long we were going to be there, and so once they started talking that, I just felt so much better. And since we've been home, I've had no postpartum depression, no baby blues or anything. And with Millie, for a couple weeks I had some baby blues, and thankfully it didn't last long. It wasn't postpartum depression. I'm very thankful. I've never experienced postpartum depression, but I remember after Millie, I remember thinking I never want to feel those feelings again. Nothing bad or harmful or anything, but it's just, if you've ever had a baby and had some baby blues, or you know, those hormones postpartum, you understand that it's just tough. But this time, once we got home, I think I was just so relieved that he was okay and we were home, and I haven't really experienced any kind of baby blues or anything. And a big thing that helped that was Ethan being able to be home with me for about a month. And so I think that made a big difference in it, because with Millie and the last few times he's only been able to take off for like a week total, and he'd have to go right back to work. So once we got home, he was only ever able to be home for a few days, and then he had to go back to work, and I was on my own and processing everything on my own. But this time he was able to be off for a while, which was definitely a blessing, especially after him being in the NICU for those several days. But yeah, I got a lot of questions on baby blues, if I'm experiencing any of that, and thankfully I am not this time. And I think I might have had a couple more questions about that. I'll have to look back through the questions when I get to those in just a few minutes. Postpartum, I had my postpartum appointment yesterday, and I'm cleared for everything, cleared to work out, cleared, I have no restrictions or anything, which really during my delivery, I had no problems at all. I didn't tear, nothing. And so I felt completely normal for the past 3 or 4 weeks probably. But I am completely clear for everything. I've actually just started working out this week, and all of that. So let's talk about postpartum weight loss and working out. I got a question about what are my plans for working out. And I actually, in the past, when I lost all of my weight, if y'all been following me for that long, like a few years ago, before I got pregnant with Millie, I had lost like 40 pounds and got to a really healthy weight. And I actually didn't lose any of that by working out. It was just strictly by eating healthy. But this time I have been wanting to incorporate working out with eating healthy, because I did gain a lot of weight during my pregnancy. I actually gained about 50 pounds right at that, which I did that last time too. I just gained a lot of weight during my pregnancies, but normally I'm able to get it off within within 3 or 4 months. Most of that is off. And at my postpartum appointment yesterday, I've actually lost 30 pounds so far, which I'm very happy with. Those first probably 20 to 25 pounds kind of like fell off. Like they were super easy to come off. But ever since I've lost, over the past like couple of weeks, I've noticed I'm gonna have to work a lot harder to get the rest of the weight off. Not only the rest of the weight, but to get back down to my lowest, which is what I want to be. Just how I just feel my best when I'm, I just feel really good. And so I have quite a ways to go for that, but I've lost about 30 pounds so far, and that's just by giving birth, number one. But oh, my memory card is about to go. Anyways, but losing that was just by giving birth, and then eating a little better over these last few weeks. So I am on Weight Watchers. I've been doing really well with that. It's been going so well so far. I've been doing really good. And then just this week I actually have a Mix bike, MYX. It's like very similar to a Peloton, just because most people know what a Peloton is. It's got the screen and classes. So I actually just started using that this week, and since I was cleared yesterday, I'm completely clear to do. I've kind of started within the last week, like slowly working out on it, just kind of slowly getting there till I was completely clear. And then since I was cleared yesterday, I'm hoping to ride it at least 5 days a week is my plan, just to try to get the rest of that off. And I'm actually in a wedding at the end of the summer, so I'm trying to be you know, obviously slim down for that. It's not just about losing weight, it's just about feeling better and just feeling healthier and just feeling better about myself. So that is that. Let me answer a few of the questions now. I think that's pretty much it postpartum wise. I've just felt really good. So let's answer a few of the questions so far, or a few of the questions that I got on Instagram. How does it feel being a boy mom now? I'm so glad we're going to be able to experience the best of both worlds. We're able to experience the girls, and now we're able to experience a baby boy. I'm just so excited for that. Right now it hadn't felt much different just because he's a newborn baby, and all newborns are very alike. They eat, sleep, poop, cry, all of that. But it's gonna be a lot of fun to be able to have a baby boy or a little boy as well. And then how was it not finding out the gender? It was definitely worth it. I'm so glad we didn't. If we ever had another baby, I think I would do the same thing. Like, I think I would do it again. It was just so fun. If you guys are thinking about it, just do it. I don't know how anybody could regret it. Like, it's just such a good experience. Once you get past that 20-week anatomy scan, it's easy after that. So if you guys are thinking about it, I know it's not for everybody, but I would recommend it. It's also a lot of fun finding out too, and having little gender reveals, and you know, finding out at the ultrasound. So we've done both, but both are just so fun. But I really am glad we did that this time. It was just a really good experience. And then how is it having 4 kids now? It has definitely been a challenge. It's definitely tougher than 3. Obviously, I feel like the more kids you add on, it's going to get a little tougher each time. I don't take the kids out by myself, and that's not, a lot of it's because I don't know if I can handle all that right now with Millie's age and having a newborn. But I just don't like to do that, just for safety and you know, obviously being safe with my kids, and me being by myself and having 4 small kids. I just like to have my husband or somebody there with me. But it's definitely has challenges, but I'm getting into a routine, and I feel like our routine is going really good. So it's been going good, just challenging at times. I want to ask my favorite things that for him since we've been home. Number 1, I'm really glad we got the Owlet. I heard mixed reviews on it. A lot of people say throughout the night you get like false alarms. We have actually not really had that. We have a couple times, but it's not like, it's not something where I like jump up and like, oh my gosh, is he okay? It's just it has happened a couple times where but it's where we've just not put it on tight enough. Definitely glad we got that. We ordered that right when he was in the Nicu. We knew that we didn't know if he was going to have any troubles coming when he came home, and we knew that it would just help us sleep better at night having that. So that's number 1. Number 2 is the bassinet. We have the Halo bassinet. We had the same thing with Millie. It is wonderful because we plan on keeping him in our room for a while, and it's just so wonderful. I would say like a swing or a bouncer. He just don't love those, but I would say a bouncer more than a swing because I can move that easily. Like, we have a little Maxi Cozy, I think is the brand. We have like a little bouncer that if I'm getting ready in the bathroom, I can set the bouncer in there, or if I need to cook supper or cook lunch, I can set the bouncer in there. So definitely that, versus like we have a mama-roo that he don't love, and that's not really something I can move around. We just got a Duna car seat, which we only got that. I actually had some gift cards, so that's why I decided to get it. But we were gonna get a new double stroller, but then I decided not to, because we actually have a double stroller. He just can't sit in it yet. It's not something I can put his car seat in. It's a side-by-side double. And so I decided, I feel like I'd be wasting money to get a new double stroller, because I love the double stroller we have now. And I know when he's a little bit older, I would definitely use that one way more than like a front to back one that I could put his car seat in. And so instead of doing that, we have two other kids that would ride in a stroller if we went somewhere where we would need a double stroller. And so we decided to get the Duna car seat, which is a car seat that turns into a stroller. I have loved that so far, and it's been really convenient if we were to go somewhere, just take out the car, turn it into the stroller, and stroll him in. The only con that I've found so far with the Duna is it is very heavy if you're not strolling it. Like if you're just carrying it, it is very heavy, but it's really made more so like to carry it, put it in the car, take it out and stroll it. But I've loved it so far. And then gowns, definitely gowns for nighttime. Gowns more than sleepers, even the zip up sleepers. Gowns are so much better. So easy for diaper changes and quick diaper changes. And then we've really loved the Swaddle Me brand of swaddles. He's done really good with those. So those are some must-haves that I think are must-haves. My blood pressure, has it returned to normal? It is pretty much normal. It was still in a good range, but it was a little higher than like pre-pregnancy at my appointment yesterday, but it was still in a good range, just a little bit more elevated than mine typically runs. And then one more question. How do I find downtime in the day with 4 kids? Nap time. My kids do really good with nap time. Ren actually just transitioned out of naps. When we lay Millie and Ren down for naps, she would never go to sleep. And so we decided we'd transition her from nap time just to quiet time. So she will watch TV during quiet time or just rest, and she does really well with that. Millie still takes a nap and does really good with nap time. And then when I'm able to get Callan down, which here lately he's actually been taking good naps lately, that's when, and then Lainey will actually be done with school tomorrow. So Lainey will usually, if she's still working on school, she'll finish up school during that time. Yeah, just during nap time, that's really my only downtime. I want to get it to where as soon as we get a good morning routine down, because Callan and Millie are just like unpredictable in the morning. Sometimes Millie will wake up super early and come in my room. Sometimes Callan will wake up super early and it'd be hard to get him back down. But once he does better with that, I won't, like this morning I set an alarm for early. I was gonna get up and ride my bike and get ready, and we just had a really rough night, and so I cut the alarm off and said, not today. So we'll try it again tomorrow. Once we get into a better routine, I hope to wake up before the kids, get my workout in, and maybe have a little bit of time to myself before they wake up, if that's going to be possible. I'm not really sure. We're just kind of taking it day by day so far. But nap time's the biggest thing. That's how I get a little bit of downtime. And as far as work goes, editing videos and things, I mainly do that either during nap time or at nighttime when the kids go to bed. But anyways, that is this update. Let me bring Callan back in here to end out this video, since a lot of it is about him. He's sleeping. Yeah. Oh, he's sleeping good. Anyway, since he's sleeping, I'm not really going to bother him, but I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I feel like it has gotten very long, but I just wanted to sit down and film this for myself, for maybe y'all, if y'all if it would help any of y'all out, if y'all just wanted to listen to me talk for 30 minutes straight. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new to my channel, and I'll see you guys soon for another video. Bye. Say bye, Cal. Bye bye, Cal.